Hello Battle Bros, farming frantically here. Today we're gonna find out if it's possible to beat the game with only archers. That means no melee, no shields, only ranged weapons and throwables. So I started out with a hunter and 2 poachers. I made my way to the nearest trade town. I needed some bodyguards for my archers, so I hired 2 farmhands and gave them the best armor I had. Farmhands are cheap and have a lot of HP, and I found a pretty good one. After that I picked up a 1-star brigand contract and went to work. I was up against 7 ferocious thugs here, but luckily for me I had a hill nearby. My boys quickly tried to secure the high ground, but the thugs were fast and they caught up to us. No time to reposition, we opened fire on the thug with the sword. Not knowing how to deflect arrows like the guy from Ghost of Tsushima, he died. Next guy with a pickaxe took a shot to the face. He went up to my farmhands and got punched to death. And by the way, I consider punches range because I throw them. The thugs tried to flank us, but we took care of them pretty well. A few shots here, a couple punches there, and some impeccable rock throwing by Odwin, and they are all running away. One of them got away. We finished off the last one, took the loot and turned in the contract. We got paid 460 crowns for this, and I bought a cheap armor with it. We took a trip to a small town nearby called Salzburg. The town was having some disappearing villagers, so as a responsible mercenary company, we decided to get the hell out of there. We jumped on the bus to Turmwacht and picked up the give me a bunch of easy quickie contracts so we can become friendly with each other ambition. It's nighttime when we arrived, so I decided to buy the team some beers. We came back to the tavern, but oops, it's 8 AM now. Get back to work, ya lazy bastards! We agreed to help the town catch some thieves, who turned out to be 7 more ferocious thugs. The first few turns went well. We shot down a few of them right away. But this time, it's them who had the high ground and they chopped down my 2 farmhands. Luckily, they survived. One lost some fingers and the other lost some toes. We got 2 new shirts and turned in the contract. After the fight, everyone is now level 2. I gave the archers students so they level faster and the frontline colossus so they die slower. I took another caravan contract, this time to a forest town. The town had some brigand problems, so we got to work. We got to the brigand camp and surprise surprise, it's 7 familiar faces again. We've got enough experience fighting thugs to apply for an entry-level job at this point, so they stood no chance. A few of them were shot down from afar right away, and the farmhands did a great job protecting the archers. In the end, we shot down most of them, and the last one got brutally massaged to death. Back in town, I picked up Robin Hood's brother from another mother, went to the next town and picked up a gypsy bare-knuckle boxing champion. I also bought a bunch of cheap tools and cheese that we helped delivered earlier. On the way back to the trade town, we saw a group of raiders looking to prey on some mercenary companies with insufficient frontline to protect the backline. Realizing that we fitted into that category, I valiantly ran. Luckily for us, a squad of night patrol police appeared in the horizon. I quickly reported the raiders' murderous intent to the officers. The K9 were unleashed upon the enemies and we assisted the officers by scoring a few headshots. It went smoothly for us, but sadly Officer Billy Hooker went down along with the 2 K9 units. We got some nice armor for this and made our way to the trade town. I bought another farmhand, sold some loot and took a delivery contract a day down south. On the road, we ran into another group of raiders. Knowing there's a caravan behind me, I challenged them to a dance-off. We had some moments together, but little did they know, the cavalry was arriving, albeit very slowly. It literally took 2 hours, but there they were, and together we attacked. The raiders, with tears of betrayal in their eyes, charged at us. We do have a nice front line now, but why tank when we don't have to? We let the caravan hands do all the hard work and casually stay back, putting arrows in places. The last raider was all surrounded and helpless. Soon we put another one in him and got a leveled up. We arrived safely. The town was having raider problems and had a lot of contracts. I finally completed my ambition and took a follow the track job. It took a while to chase them down, but 7 thugs weren't a problem for us at this point. Well, it's not like we were beating them like an abusive dad beating his children, but with decent level in the back and some armor in the front, we were able to handle them on our own. After that, instead of taking care of the raider problem for the town, I went to the close by southern city with intention of buying some goods, marking up the price, and coming back to sell to the people in need. Unfortunately, the city was also ambushed when I arrived. Not being able to practice what I had learned in economics class, I had to take a minimum wage job of escorting a donkey up north. On the way, we was visited by the medical supplies boogeyman, but other than that, the journey was rather uneventful. I did get a new ambition to do more jobs though, and that really motivated me to watch this donkey taking 2 days to crawl to its destination. Here I met up with my cocaine dealer and picked up 3 bricks. Then I returned to my favorite town. Looks like everyone is ambushed these days, so I took the brigand contract and headed to their camp. There were 4 poachers and 3 raiders, so I pulled back to some high ground. The poachers all ran after me like I stole their chickens or something. I didn't mind the free kills though. The raiders, on the other hand, seemed to be under house arrest and they refused to get out of their camp. Not until I taunted them by tea-bagging their dead friends did they reluctantly came out. I welcomed them with some high fives to the face, a couple javelins to the body, and finished with a knockout. It took me 20 turns for this fight. 1 raider escaped, but it's okay. I had already notified his probation officer. With the raiders either dead or captured, I got paid. The hedge knight from day 1 is still here by the way. I hope he finds a job soon. For my next contract, I was delivering some pizzas when I saw a caravan being attacked. Since they helped me out last time, and I was going in that direction anyway, out of the goodness of my heart, I dropped by and helped them out. Smelling the pizzas, the raiders left the caravan and came at us. I politely informed them that no one was touching my pepperoni with crunchy bacon and extra cheese pizzas but my customer, and proceeded to skewer one of them with javelins. Mickey O'Neill gave another one a broken nose, and a few turns later they were all eating dirt pizza together in a ditch. I delivered the pizzas, wasn't tipped very well. Why can't the employer just pay me enough so I don't have to rely on tips? Come on, man. The town had a bunch of cheap food, at least the bros won't go hungry today. After scooping up all the stuff, I went back to the trade town. Mr. Employer gave me another caravan job, but I told him I had to visit my grandma first. Gran lives in the next village. She told me that some neighbor kids had been playing next to her flower bed and messing up the dandelions. So I went and told the kids that they should play across the street instead. I also bought them some ice cream when the ice cream truck drove by, and they promised to help my grandma water the flowers. Gran gave me some money like she always does, and it's time to do that job Mr. Employer gave me earlier. This caravan is especially dangerous because it's on the Brigand Highway, and before you know it, we were attacked by nomads. Before the fight begins, I want to introduce you to someone. This is Frank. Frank is just an average caravan hand, but he has a big heart. He jumped right into the front. He wanted to protect his donkeys, his friends, and he wanted to protect us. We outnumbered them 2-1. With the caravan hands in the front, our archers were able to put in some good shots. The cutthroats were quite a bit stronger than I thought though, especially against the caravan hands with low armor. One by one, Frank's colleagues went down, but they bought me enough time to take down all the nomads. Here's Frank's last friend jumping in just to get his head chopped clean off. Frank with his trusty buckler is still alive, fending off the last cutthroat. We took the opportunity to pile on and hold him steady, and Fighter and Zombie kind of executed him. We got a sling stick from this and Zombie is level 5 now. I gave him Javelin Mastery so he can do more damage. A few lives were lost, but the mission must go on. Literally 1 second after the fight, the sun went down and from the darkness came the raiders. They must have conspired with the nomads to get back at us. They attacked in the night when our archers were weakest and we had no time to recover. Our only hope lay upon Zombie's shoulders. He's the one with level 5, he's the one with the highest range skill, he's the one with the night vision goggles that cost me $20. And he missed, but it's okay, because Kubla, our incredibly untalented farmhand, slung a rock that must have been imbued with magic because it miraculously found its way to a raider's head, almost killing him. Fighter also stepped up his game and one-shot another. The raiders, unfazed by our firepower, closed in on us, but that's the perfect time for Zombie to use his new Javelin Mastery. He pulled it out and obliterated the thug. Bald Omar casually finished off the raider with a stone. Everyone is performing today. While Zombie was cleaning up the right flank, Frank helped us chop up more people. He protected us last fight, now we will protect him. We finally broke their formation. The last raiders were surrounded and we beat them up as if they were TikTokers. The caravan continued. On the way, Frank told us that he wanted to become a professional donkey rider with a certain set of rules that deliver special cargoes without asking too many questions. Our conversation was interrupted by another group of nomads. We have come this far, I will not let them get in the way of Frank and his dream. With the sun shining brightly on the enemies, our archer's vision was restored to 20/20 and we hit all 30% of our shots. The nomads had never seen such proficient marksmanship before. One by one they fell. One of them got away, but the rest weren't so lucky. As per usual, the last one was tenderized and Zombie finished him off for the XP. The fighting is over for now. We arrived at the southern city. It has been a good 16 days. The company is still alive and kicking. We said goodbye to Frank. I'm sure we'll see him again one day. And that's it for part 1 of the run. If you liked the video, consider subscribing. I appreciate that. You know, for a man with chronic procrastination and shorter than average attention span, I did put in a lot of effort. Alright, I'll see you all in part 2. Fidi out.